public is an important milestone in our history. But here's the thing. Our mission isn't to be a public company. Our mission is to make the world more open and connected.
That was Mark Zuckerberg saying his company wasn't in business to be a public company just as it went public. Question is your company ready to go public? Welcome back to Digits. We've got Lucy Marcus, a governance guru here, who knows a lot about companies and whether they're IPO ready or not. So was Facebook IPO ready?
I think there were a lot of things that they could have done a little bit better. A lot of things they could have done a lot better. And some things they were doing pretty well. You know, looking at it from a board perspective,
Yeah.
as a board director and someone who thinks about and writes about boards, I think one of the things that they could have done better is actually had people on the board with a little bit more practice at going public. Also people around them who had a little more practice at going public, and also, you know, better structures for understanding what it means once they're public going forward.
Now, is it a good thing when your CEO on the day you go public to say you're not interested in really in being a public company? Is that cool with the shareholders?
Playing hard to get? Wouldn't have been my choice, but
okay. So you said you know, have people who've got some experience. What is I know the difference between public and private. How do you know the difference? What is the difference for someone like Mark Zuckerberg?
Well, I mean, he goes from being able to control his environment a great deal, actually. I mean, when you think he was basically living in a bubble. Everyone around him, you know, talks to him, knows him. It's a sort of Silicon Valley world with some things going on. All of a sudden, you're out there, and there are areas that you can't control, the vagaries of the market, and you know, you can think you're pretty smart, but actually, you look at all the things that can go wrong, from technology to investors to people being fickle to people deciding they don't like you to, you know, all kinds of things. All of a sudden, all the things that you controlled, you're no longer in control. So
what should companies be asking themselves, or the people at companies be asking themselves before they about whether they're ready to go public?
I think from a board perspective, you need to look at your board again and say, okay, up until now, as a private company, for the most part, we've had venture capitalists on the board. We've had a couple of people who know the sector and so on.
And that's very true of Facebook.
Absolutely. I mean, it's, you know, when you look around that board table, besides the fact that there are no women, you know, it's actually, to me, symptomatic of something larger, which is there's not a lot of diversity of any kind in that room. There are...
Now, diversity isn't just diversity of race and gender,
Right.
Diversity of opinion.
Absolutely.
Right? So, opinion, do you want people who disagree with you on the board? Is that a good idea, or does that just lead to punch-ups?
100. No. Listen, if you can have those conversations in the boardroom, it saves you a lot of trouble when you have to have those conversations outside. So, the boardroom is a safe space to spitball ideas and to put stuff out there and to have, you know, wise people sitting around a table and giving you an idea of what's going to happen and will that fly. And if you don't have those people around the table and you don't have those tough discussions there, you're going to have those discussions outside. And
in public, with big black eyes, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, and also now, you know, he's decided to take a very strong position. He has a lot of control. With power, comes responsibility. And so one of the things that a lot of people are concerned about is we haven't heard from him.
We haven't heard from him.
Have you heard anything? Because has he
no,
called you?
No, he hasn't called me. He's welcome to you. Welcome to call the Wall Street Journal.
Exactly.
Mr.
Yes, I
Zuckerberg. So, quick question. You say Groupon looked like it had a good board, and you say it wasn't really. Why wasn't it?
Well, I mean, again, it's not just about names on paper. It's also about how focused they are, how much they're working with the team there. I mean, I kept wondering, where's the board when they were violating the SEC quiet period, and when they were, you know, having trouble with their audit and so on, and you know, so you had what looked like a gold-plated group, but not really. And so one of the things is that investors are now looking at companies that are going to go public with blue tinted glasses. You know, they're seeing it, and they're going to start looking and saying, okay, this is what happened with Facebook. They're going to be holding companies to a higher standard, and hopefully, one hopes, to greater scrutiny.